Stop me at any time with questions or comments, but try to keep it along the subject matter if you can, So this lamentation, there's a lot of that in the material world, right? Regret. We lament. We spend half of our time hankering, wanting. I want this and I want that because I want to enjoy. And then we spend a lot of time lamenting because I didn't get what I was hankering for. Or I got it, but it didn't work out exactly the way I thought it was gonna. It didn't make me as happy, or it didn't last very long. You ever have something like that? You get some happiness. Like when you're a kid, I can't remember anything exactly, but I can remember wanting something for Christmas or something. I was all excited about it. And then once I got it, I was really excited, and I get it out of the box, and it's just not really, it's not that great once you get it. So I was tricked by the illusory energy. I saw it on television. I thought, wow, I got to have that. That'll make me happy. Just look at that kid that's playing with his. Look how happy he is. I want to be like that. So I want one of those. And then I get it, and then there's no happiness attached to it. So now I'm lamenting. I was hankering, now I'm lamenting. So lamentation, illusion, and fearfulness, these are things that are pretty common in our material world, aren't they? So there is a very simple way to escape lamentation, illusion, and fearfulness. When we become a devotee of Krishna, we don't probably notice it. I don't know, some of you might have actually noticed when it left, but there are certain things that leave you as you practice spiritual life, serious, sincere spiritual life. One of those is hankering. You're not hankering you feel satisfied, so you're not like always wanting something for gratification. So, and lamenting, that goes away. Spiritual life will take that away if you let it. And another thing that goes is fearfulness. Fear disappears. You may not know when it goes. You may just turn around someday and people are talking about it, and you think, hey, wait a minute, I haven't been fearful in so long, decades. What happened to it? Well, the spiritual life took it away. Loneliness. Spiritual life will take away loneliness. You may still understand what it is, but you won't remember what it feels like to be lonely or unsatisfied. Krishna is the fulfiller of all desires. And so the more you get Krishna in your life, the more satisfied you feel. You see? So, simple process. Some people think, well, gee whiz, that sounds too easy. Well, it is. It's so easy to become a pure devotee. It doesn't take a lot of tricks, and it doesn't take anything. You don't have to pay for it. It's free. All you have to do is develop a little bit of sincerity in your heart. Now, that is the difficulty, because we've been cheated. As we go through this material world, birth after birth, we get cheated once in a while, don't we? Maybe a little more than once in a while. And maybe we do a little cheating too. We're as guilty as the next guy probably. So, but it's actually very, very easy. Krishna is so eager for us to have our eternal relationship with him back that he makes it very easy, especially in this age of Kali Yuga. So let me tell you how easy it is. We're going to be talking about a verse from Srimad Bhagavatam, 1st canto, 7th chapter, 7th verse, 177. So, simply by giving oral reception to this Vedic literature, the feeling of for loving devotional service to Lord Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, sprouts up at once to extinguish the fire of lamentation, illusion, and fearfulness. So simply by hearing this recitation of Srimad Bhagavatam, it puts you in a whole different world. It puts you into the real world, the spiritual world. Why is it real? Because it's eternal. This world is temporary, so it's illusory. It flickers. The spiritual world is eternal. It doesn't flicker. It's always there. So by hearing, the important thing is to hear. In the beginning, we don't hear very sincerely because we're full of doubts. You know, I mean, I've heard so many things before. This is another philosophy. You know, back in the 60s and 70s, I can remember going through different philosophies. We were all searching for something better to make us happier. We wanted to try something that would work spiritually. Thank you. And so we experimented with different things. We tried this, we tried this, we tried that. It's all disappointing. So you meet the devotees of Krishna and you think, oh, here's another one, another philosophy. So in the beginning, the potency of the Srimad Bhagavatam is there, but I don't have enough faith yet. I have to hear it. And then some sincerity will develop. And then it starts to have its big time effect. So, Krishna says here, simply by giving oral reception to this Vedic literature, simply by hearing. What is the Sanskrit word for hearing? Ravanam. Shravanam, we are hearing. And kirtanam, chanting. You've just been doing that, hearing and chanting. So you've been performing this transcendental activity. Excuse me, I've got to drink something a little hot here because I've been suffering with a cold for a while. Thank you. It really helps. So, the feeling for loving devotional service to Lord Krishna, why is that important? We rarely think about that in our spiritual pursuits, do we? We don't start out pursuing a religious path because I want to learn to serve the Supreme Godhead. Typically, I want something for me, right? And that's all right. I remember making the decision to become a devotee of Krishna because this sounded like the better thing for me to do for me. I could gain from this. Now that's all right. It's not bhakti. Bhakti means I'm not looking out for me, I'm looking out for you. But for bhakti to appear, we have to develop some sincere love. A little, even if it's just a few drops, a taste. I've got to feel some love for Krishna, even a little bit. Now, once we start this sincere loving for Krishna, and you don't have to become completely pure, just a few drops of this loving feeling towards the Supreme. Immediately, you start to recognize all these other living entities here who are actually part and parcel of the Supreme, and you develop love for them too. You can't stop it. It just happens. If I love God, I love his parts and parcels. It's like Srila Prabhupada, my guru, says, if you love me, love my dog. I don't know if that makes any sense to everyone, but it makes sense when Prabhupada says it. You can't just say, I love God, but I don't love anybody else. I don't love his parts and parcels. That's just plain foolish. That's silly. You love God, you'll love all the parts and parcels too, because we are just like him, even though we may be covered in illusion right now. I may be covered in illusion, but I'm still part and parcel of Krishna. So as you develop a little bit, as your loving propensity or transcendental love develops, then you can see that beauty in everyone, all the living entities, even if they're covered over by some illusion right now. So this devotional service, once you hear, sprouts up automatically. It's said here that it sprouts up at once to extinguish the fire of lamentation, illusion, and fearfulness. Well, it does. It sprouts immediately. Now, you may not take advantage of it right away because it takes a while for us to develop some faith. It may take some while. And after some time, that faith will turn into knowing. We will know that this is the way for us to find love for Godhead. We will know it. You'll feel it. How do you know? Some people ask me, how do you know? Well, how do you know when you fall in love? You just can tell, right? It just happens. You fall in love. So you start to fall in love with Krishna and all the other living entities at the same time, and you don't have to do anything artificial to make it happen, and you can't do anything to stop it. It's just going to happen. But it all starts with exercising that strongest sense of ours, which of our five senses, actually six if you throw in the mind, which one of these senses is the most powerful? Huh? Yeah, hearing. Hearing is the most powerful. Srila Prabhupada gives a perfect example, as he always does. There are various senses of which the ear is the most effective. Why do you say that? This sense works even when a man is deep in sleep. When you're sleeping, your eyes don't work. Sense of feel doesn't work, smell doesn't. But hearing is there because if there's some noise, it'll wake you up. So hearing is very, very important. And so when we hear this transcendental vibration, chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare. Just by hearing this, you become immensely purified. Sometimes you can even feel it. I've even experienced, many of the preachers here have seen people that say, well, I experienced it the very first time I heard this chanting. I felt the effect. Now, sometimes it takes you a little longer than that, but sometimes right away, you hear this chanting and immediately you feel this upliftment, spiritual upliftment. So it works, the sense of hearing works even when you're asleep. The importance of hearing is mentioned here in connection with attaining the highest perfection of life, namely getting free from the three material pangs. Everyone is full of lamentation at every moment. He is after the mirage of illusory things, and he is always afraid of his supposed enemy. These are the primary symptoms of the material disease. This material disease is illusion, believing that something is true that's not. And so then you go through this life like you have for billions of lifetimes, believing in an illusion. You think this world is your home. You think that you are this body. You think that because this body is made of the dust, they say dust to dust, then I am part of it. Some people even say, why, you are stardust. Have you ever heard that? Have you ever, when you hear that, have you ever said to anybody, where did you get that? You probably didn't, because you know where they got it. They speculated it, or they heard it from someone who speculated it. It's not proven by science. I don't know of any bona fide shastra, any scripture that says that. Where does this come from? It's an illusion. You are stardust. I'm telling you that because I'm too embarrassed to tell you I don't have a clue what you are. Why? I haven't heard from Scripture, so I don't know. But I'll speculate. And as long as I'm speculating, I want my speculation to sound really cool. That sounds kind of interesting. It's really hip to say that. You're like, you are stardust. Boy, that really helped me a lot. That's going to keep me from taking the next birth. It's going to help me escape death, old age, disease. No. Some people might even think, well, it made me feel kind of good to hear that, but give it time as you progress in your knowledge of spiritual life. That won't make you feel very good to think that you're stardust. Okay? If I'm not stardust, then what am I? You are a part and parcel of the source of all sources, the Supreme. Come on, the Supreme is unlimited. If he's supreme, he's unlimited. I see a lot of females in the audience. Let me ask a question. Is God female or male? Yes. He's the source of everything, right? Male and female come from that source. So he's both male and female. He's the source of love. He's the source of all knowledge. He's the source of everything. What do you mean? The universe isn't the source of everything? No. He's the source of the universe. You see? So, we want to hear this Srimad Bhagavatam. We want this promotion from illusion into knowledge. We want to take away the guesswork. It's very important to us because we want to then turn around and help others come out of illusion. We want to share this with people. If you get something very wonderful, it's like if you, sometimes people come to Govinda's here for their first time. Seen a lot of people come here the first times through the years that you've been here. And I hear a lot of people, and they're saying, well, this is really wonderful. I can't wait to tell my friends. It's not like they come here and they taste and they think, oh, I'm not telling anybody about this. I'm going to keep this for myself. No, immediately you want to share it, right? Wow, hey, Fonda, guess what? I just went to this cool place, Govinda's. They have this nice vegan, vegetarian buffet. See, you want to share it. So, when we get spiritual knowledge, we will want to share it. You can't just go and keep it to yourself. It's pretty difficult to do. I don't even know if anybody can actually do that. But you're going to want to tell the world. That happened to all of us. I remember when I first heard this philosophy. When I first read Srila Prabhupada's Bhagavad Gita, I immediately started telling everybody. And some of my friends were very excited. And some of my friends were like, yeah, get away. Let's just go get stoned or something, Don't take away my illusion. I need it. Why, my illusion is like my, what do you call it? Yeah, it's when you're drowning and my life preserver. Yeah, I've got to cling to this. If you take away my illusion, then I don't know what that would leave me with. If it's illusion, you didn't have anything to begin with. Don't be afraid to lose your religion. Your illusion. Don't be afraid to lose your religion. Why would I say that? Oh, wait a minute. Krishna says abandon all forms of religion, doesn't he? Give it up. Become my devotee. That's a pretty bold statement. Only the Supreme Godhead can say that and get away with it. Now, why does Krishna say, abandon all forms of religion and just surrender to me? because we've been struggling birth after birth. And every time we get a human birth, we're probably to some degree or other involved in some religious process. What is religion supposed to do? What is religion? It's like a vehicle. Religion is supposed to take you from one place to another. That's all it is. So it's not something that you keep forever. You know, if you take a limousine to the airport, you know, it's a vehicle that takes you to the airport. If along the way you become attached to the limousine and you want to stay in the limo, well, the guy pulls up at the airport and you don't want to get out. Well, Mama, this is your destination. We're at American Airlines, sir. Well, I don't know. I kind of dig this car, man. Why don't you drive around a little bit more? No, it's supposed to take you somewhere. It's not something that you do forever. So Krishna says, you've tried this religion and you've tried that religion. And so now I'm going to give you a shortcut. Why don't you just surrender to me and become my loving devotee? And I will personally deliver you. Now, at that point, you've got the right to say, no, Krishna, mind your own business. I'm going to go do this religion or that religion. And Krishna will give you his blessing. Sure, yes. What are you looking for when you take up a religious process? What are you looking for? What are most people looking for? You want to stay out of hell. A lot of people, when I was a kid, I didn't want to go to hell. So whatever you say, you got my ear because, you know. Or another part of that is I don't want to go to hell and I want to go to heaven. Well, why do you want to go to heaven? Well, come on, it's a really great place. You know, it's like Hawaii on steroids. The weather is really great, you know. Can you imagine? I mean, I hear the Wi-Fi there is like lightning fast. You know, you got all these advantages. I can gratify, I can enjoy big time there, right? Now, this is pious. But I've asked people over the years, for the last 50-something years, what are you and God going to do once you go to heaven? Or whatever it is you call that in place. Different religions have different names for it. What are you and God going to do when you get there? Well, I don't know. We weren't really planning on that, you know. I mean, I'll see him. He's there, right? I'm going to heaven. He lives there. I'll see him in church, I guess. You know, maybe Wednesday night choir practice, he'll show up. I don't know. So maybe I'll bump into him. So we tend to have this before we get into the realm of the world of bhakti. We have this picture of God being over there. You know, it's like going to like a concert. You know, I don't even know who's popular, who has music concerts now. I don't even know. All right, let's just say Pink Floyd. You still know who Pink Floyd is? Okay. This is the problem of getting old. I don't know what the rest of the. So you go to a Pink Floyd. Has anybody here ever been to a Pink Floyd concert? Nobody's old enough to know who they are, right? Except, I always pick on Fonda. So, you know, you go to a concert and you fill in the name of whoever you're there to see. You're like way over here and they're up there. You know, it's pretty hard for you to walk up there and see the stars. There's going to be some distance, unless you've got a friend that gets you a backstage pass or something like that. You know, so there's this us and them thing. And so when I go to heaven, God's going to be like over there, you know, surrounded by Secret Service guys and everything. And I'm going to be like way back here. And that's okay, you know, because he's got his life and I got mine. You know, that's fair.
Someone could tell you you're stardust.
Huh?
Someone could tell you you're star dust, and then you'll feel okay because they're stars.
Yeah. He's the star and I'm the dust. Yeah, that works. But this isn't even approaching bhakti. Bhakti is, I love him. I love God. I want to be right next to, I want to be touching him. I want to be able to lean over and lean my shoulder, and he's leaning his shoulder on him. I want him because I'm not afraid. He's my dearmost friend. He is, when I have consciousness of the Supreme, then immediately my lamentation goes away. I'm not lamenting because I don't have something, because I have everything. If you have the source and everything comes from the source, then you really do have everything. But he is such a nice guy to be with, such a fun character, you don't want anything else. Satisfaction. You ever eaten, you start out like pizza. Start out, some people have a pizza night. Does anybody here have a pizza night?
Every night.
Yeah, see, we have, yeah, whenever we can get it, And so you start out, wow, it's Tuesday, it's pizza night or whatever. So you sit down and you're really lusty for pizza, right? You're hankering for that. You've been thinking about it for hours. And then you smell it and, man. And then after you've had whatever your number of pieces is, for me, it used to be 4, but now I can only do 2 pieces. So, but once you have your fill and now you're satisfied, someone says, we've got a new one here that just came out of the oven. Oh, no, thanks, I can't. I am satisfied, you see. Of course, that's material satisfaction and it comes and goes. When you get the association, it's so satisfying, you're satisfied. It's eternal. I'm just satisfied. Why, even the thoughts of my friend Krishna is satisfying. Even thinking about him when he's not here is delightful, you see. So this is bhakti. This is the philosophy of bhakti. I guess you could put it, to make it clear, bhakti is, I'm in love. Have you ever seen a friend that you haven't seen in a while and they look all happy and you say, what's new with you? And they say, I'm in love. You've had that happen, right? Nobody's had that. There's only one person that's into pizza. It's a quiet crowd tonight, isn't it? This is because of your chanting. So, yeah, we get satisfied. We're in love. We get Krishna, the object of our love. And you know what? It stops there. You don't want anything else. You have everything. You have divine love. And you've always had it. It just became awakened. But you've always had it. And I'm talking about it for eternity. You've had dormant love for the Supreme and all of the living entities. You truly have. This love of Godhead is something that actually belongs to you. You've just forgotten about it because we came to this material world to see what else we could enjoy. And so we've been hankering for something to enjoy, lamenting for what we can't get. When we do get something that has any value, we have to be fearful that someone will take it away from us. You see? So, the nature of the living entity is to be in love. That's it. That's all you're all about. That's all Krishna is all about. That's the definition. That's the purpose of religion, to give you love of the Supreme. So I've got time for maybe one quick question or a comment. Yes.
What about the love for self? How do we engage with that?
Excellent question. Let me just ask some questions. Sometimes, don't you hate it when people answer questions with questions? You know, I'm one of those guys. Why do you want that?
Because I didn't have it before.
Okay, so why? Why don't you have it before?
Because the people around me didn't make me think that I had it.
This is real life. In other words, you sound like an earthling. You sound like somebody who lives on planet Earth. That's the way the world is. There rarely do we find people who have been encouraged all of their life. A lot of people have been discouraging you. So in other words, no one has empowered you with their faith in you. But this is a very honest feeling. What about self-love? Well, who can love more, you or the supreme source of love? All right. So if that source loves you as much as any other living entity, then that should satisfy it, right?
Yeah.
In other words, I shouldn't be concerned about me loving me. I'm loved by that source. But nobody told me. I didn't know that until I read the Vedic literatures and I realized, wait a minute, Krishna says, Shuridam Sarvabhutanam, I am your dearmost friend and ever well-wisher. I love you. You are my friend, and I am your friend. Why, gee whiz, I hadn't gone to that yet. I mean, I've had people say, yes, God loves you, but I would always wonder, how? How does it manifest? So we're concerned about me. You see, once I get some self-realization as to what am I? Well, I am a part of this supreme energy. I am not God, but I am part of God. So that makes me all right. I don't have to be special. I don't have to be better than everyone else. When you want self-love, you really just want to be all right. Right? If you're all right, if we're all right, we can share being all right. You don't have to excel over anybody else. Just be yourself. But we have to find out what is that self. And the Vedic literatures will teach you that. So, do you have a Bhagavad Gita? Huh? Because I was going to say, if you don't, we'll give you one for free. Oh, you did? Oh, well. So read it. Have questions, come and discuss the questions. And you need to discover yourself. Once you discover yourself, you're going to start to realize, what is it about you that God loves so much? Rather than just the word salad. I like that. That's a new thing that they're saying now. Word salad, you know. I wonder if they have word salad dressing. You know. I got a laugh out of them, Fonda. Did you hear it? Okay. So, yeah, you need to learn. What is it? What is it that God sees in you that makes him so crazy about you? If he thinks you're okay, then it shouldn't matter to you what anybody else thinks. And boy, that's a strong way to live your life. Truly is. We can talk more about it later, but I have to wrap it up now. Excellent question. Thank you so much. And thank you all for coming. All glories to Srila Prabhupada.